Really awesome interview right about now. So Karen, are you enjoying the show so far?
Absolutely.
Are you enjoying the interview? Yes. So now let's get straight back into it. Now, I noted here on your profile, it says that you studied quite a few things. You've got, let me see here, you've got a Bachelor of Commerce in Sports Management. You've got a certificate for Principles of Project Management, another one for New Managers Program. Now, I wanted to know from you, in terms of all of your studies, did you actually foresee that they would get you to where you were going, where you're at now, or were you just trying to sort of study and had like a vague idea of where you wanted to be?
I think when I started out, I always had an idea that I wanted to be involved with sport.
Okay.
And the course that appealed to me most was the Bachelor of Commerce, majoring in sports management. When I got out into the real world, the degree didn't really mean much, sadly.
Oh, okay.
I think if I'd have, I think in hindsight, I would have done a marketing degree rather than specializing in sports management. And I think it's such a niche market, sports management, sport itself.
Sport, yeah.
You actually need to have a better general base than something that's quite specific. Especially a lot of people think they want to go into sports medicine or into player management, and for that you maybe need a psychology degree or a legal degree, because you need to do a lot of stuff around contracting and that type of thing. But as a base, it was great, and I was very, very fortunate that I had an amazing mentor who basically took me through the beginning part of my career and built and helped me to grow where I am today.
Wow. So now I see here that you also studied in Australia. What was that about, going to Australia?
I suppose I was a spoilt brat. I was fortunate enough to be selected as a Rotary Exchange student when I left school.
Okay.
And I spent a year in Australia in a town called Ulverston on the northwest coast of Tasmania, and I did matric for the second time.
Oh, okay. So it was fun?
It was awesome.
Doing it twice?
Well, they have things called 6-packer subjects there, which are basically ones that you don't have to study for. So I did hiking as a subject, and speech and drama, and really fun stuff that I didn't have to worry too much about. But I did do some courses like sports management, actually, sports science, when I was over there, which helped me a lot in my university education when I went to university. So it was a wonderful experience.
Right. So now you've worked on a number of campaigns. I did mention a few of them before. Now, what would you say was your most memorable campaign?
Without a doubt, it would have to be the 2008 Vodacom Challenge.
Really?
Manchester, Sale brought out Manchester United, and they played against Chiefs and Pirates.
Yes.
And that first match at the Absa Stadium in Durban, capacity crowd, and I was standing right down on the pitch. The teams were facing us, singing the national anthem to a full stadium, and you kind of look around and you think, "Oh, my hat! I did this." And it was amazing. I think that'll live with me forever. That was amazing.
And then, so from the most amazing to the most difficult, what would you say was the most challenging, gave you the most grey hairs, and you thought, I can't?
I think every event has one of those, especially in the industry. And you can talk to anybody. It's not if something's going to go wrong; it's when it's going to go wrong. And what sets you apart from somebody else is how you plan for those things and how you react to those things that go wrong. And it could be the sound going down in the middle of a show, which has happened, to artists arriving, international artists, I might add, arriving late for a gig and totally plastered, and needing to get on stage, and how you manage that situation, to promoters who are really terrible and the client hates, and the scale is totally different. It's part of the job, and it's how you react to it.
Very true. I can honestly say, with all of these things that you've done, obviously there's a lot to be said for wearing different hats, or being able to sort of change and change how you approach different situations, different challenges. Now, how would you say this has played out for you in your career in terms of being able to diversify and meeting different challenges with a new mindset?
I think the beauty of how I've come through the ranks is I've been exposed to different parts of the business that make up the whole. and very often, especially when you're starting out, you have your blinkers on and I'm in charge of this only, but you don't think how it impacts on PR or how it impacts on the sponsorship or how it impacts on the client. And I've been able to sit in each of those positions throughout my career. So you're able to have a holistic view of something that you're working on rather than just be looking at what your thing is.
Yeah.
You know, so the big thing is I love the fact that I can see the big picture and not the big picture without detail, because a lot of people only see the big picture without detail.
Very true.
I see the big picture with detail.
Now, I know that one of the things that you deal with is event production. Now, what goes into sort of conceptualizing shows, artist management, and things like script writing?
I must say, it's been a while since I've worked exclusively in production. But the thing that sits with me is that I think the first thing is that some people go, oh, I'm not creative. Every single person is creative. You just have to believe that you are and that you've got a valuable contribution. The things that worked is brainstorming. We always used to sit together and come up with a concept together, and then everybody would add to that until you got to the most amazing concept that you would eventually sell to the client. I think the big thing as well is needing to stay abreast of current trends in music, artists that are out there. You know, Mikasa as an example.
Yes.
They're very current. And so everybody automatically puts them forward for an event as an example or as an entertainment slot, which is great for them. But there are a hell of a lot of other artists out there.
Very true.
And often what can set you apart is finding that new raw talent and bringing that to the fore rather than just going with what everybody else is doing at the moment.
Going with the obvious choice. Yes.
Absolutely. And that's not to say that the obvious choice isn't a brilliant choice, but sometimes you need to differentiate yourself. And finding that new talent is awesome. And that's hard work. It's communicating, it's staying in touch with people like yourselves, and listening what's out there.
Right. Now, being that it's a Women's Month, can you just tell us a little bit about your journey being a woman within the sports industry? Sports and entertainment industry, actually.
Well, I would say the sports industry is actually very much controlled by women.
Really?
On an operational level, definitely. The things that actually make it happen, the people who make it happen, are largely female.
Okay.
It was actually... I think it was the 2008 or 2009 Vodacom Challenge. I still remember we took a photo of all the people who were running it, and the photo was exclusively women. Jessica Motong, Kamisa Motong, Maggie Sokoto from Forever Marketing, who heads up to PR, Karen Lightfoot, myself, and our team. And it was an all-woman team that were the bomb.
Wow, that is absolutely fantastic, though.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, if you look at cricket, I know Cass Naidu was really involved from a cricketing point of view. So if you look at the major sports, I think Kaizer Chiefs Dara, who heads up their PR side, I mean marketing, she's been there forever and a day, and those are the women who actually make things happen. So there's a lot of women in the background, they maybe not in the foreground, who really keep sport going in South Africa.
They keep the wheel turning.
They do.
They keep things moving. Now, can you just, one of the last few questions I need to ask you is, what do you think is the importance of the role of advertising, the role of social media, and the way that we need to sort of shift to capitalize on those potential markets? I know you were pretty shocked when I said I don't have my own personal Twitter account. I'm so sad.
I think the world of marketing has changed. It's no longer the advertisers talking down to us and saying you need to buy a product. Now we're saying what we want. And by saying what we want, that comes through on our social channels. You just have to look at any of the Twitter accounts around large retail chains, whether it be removing magazines off shelves because of for religious reasons, or the BP disaster, what happened through bad PR and bad management. These days, you've got to have an integrated marketing campaign that covers PR,